you doing, Jason? Trying to figure out how to do a YouTube video?
I'm always trying to figure out how to do a YouTube video. Hashtag no filter. Sometimes going through life is the best way to do that. But riding around on your motorcycle, you better have a good one. In the Norden, however, they say it's not adequate. What are we gonna do? Rottweiler. Stay tuned. Moto Photo Adventures.
If you're ever riding down the road and you get stuck behind a dump truck spewing nasty dust in the air and you cannot see, and somebody sideswipes you and you go down and you're injured, I highly recommend that you contact Rick Stewart at scmotolawyer.com. Rick is a rider just like us, and he's an amazing lawyer, and he will help you out of trouble. In fact, Rick is a breath of fresh air. scmotolawyer.com, 1-855-GET-MOTO.
The first thing you want to do when you get ready to work on your motorcycle is admit that you can't work on your motorcycle very well, so you take on easy projects. Enter Rottweiler Performance. This is supposed to be the upgrade for the Norden 901 inadequate air filter we're about to see. So let's first take a look at what tools we're going to need to accomplish this thing. Phillips head screwdriver. Listening to the motorcycles go by is just a bonus. They say that a little blue Loctite doesn't hurt, so we've brought that. We also have a T30 Torx and a number 3 Allen key. Correction, 2.5. So now all we have to do is prep the site for surgery. Be right back. With the patient being prepped and the side panels off, we now have access to take off the seat lock. Let's go ahead and do that with the T30 ratchet. Ah, son of a bitch. Now let's just get that out of the way so that we can take the cover off the air filter side. Using the same T30. And if you're wondering what this non-factory red wire is, it goes to my bike cams that face back and forth, so you can take a look at that video as we installed it. Now let's remove the snorkels. From what I understand, you just grab it and pull it straight towards you, and it should dislodge the whole thing. Be careful not to rip the gasket, because you want that to come out with it. Then we'll do the other side. Pull it straight across, just like that. And pull out the gasket with it, just like that. Now, I have unplugged my camera. Great! And I don't know what that goes to. Okay, end of blooper reel. Now let's take the cover off of the factory air filter. Now we pull out the shim that locks the air filter in place. And then we pull out the air filter itself. Now I have not replaced this since I bought it, but it looks like it's in pretty good shape, so I'm not going to replace that one just yet. I might go blow it out with some compressed air, but other than that, I think she's still good to go. We're going to look inside here to see if there's any dust and dirt buildup. I might go grab a rag and just clean that out just a little bit.
The Oaks Private School is an accredited school catering to families who want to educate their children in their own home. The Oaks Private School, or TOPS, provides a transcript and a diploma that is accepted by universities worldwide as well as the U.S. military. TOPS offers a wide variety of curricula to fit the learning style of each student, whether it's an online or a traditional style. So please check out their website at www.theoaksprivateschool.com to learn more or to set up a counseling session with one of their professionals.
This is probably not necessary because there's very little light dust in there. There's no big particles or anything, but you know, OCD and all. The next time I take a look in here, I will be able to make an assessment on whether the Rottweiler actually did any better or not, because I will be able to see how much surface to plastic rust or dust there is. Next are the two little studs that go into the provided little slots right here. Now, they recommend, or at least don't say no to, a little drop of blue Loctite, so that's what I'm going to do. So the two studs that we just put in, along with the buttons and the screws, the plastic self-tapping screws, and these little shims, come in a small pack. They even thought so far as to give you a couple little extras. So now that we have the studs in, we just place the plates to orient where we're going to put the self-tapping screws. So firstly, we put this on this side, and they come in two positions, they come in two pieces like this, where they key up together because, you know, you got to be able to get them in there. So we'll put this one in on this side, line it up with the stud right there, put this one in on this side, lining it up with the stud right there, line them both up, and then with the two buttons, if you'll notice how wobbly that is, this button has a chamfer in it which will fill in that little gap and center it properly so that we can put the screws in up here in the exact right place. Don't drop these buttons down the hole. They will forever be gone in the abyss. And that clattering that you hear would have been your fault in the engine. So now that we see where these are going to end up, we can now put the self-tapping screws in here using a Phillips head screwdriver, and make sure that one fits properly. Yes, it does. And the spacer. What I will do is I will put this spacer on the screw already, and if you'll notice, the spacer is going to be the size of this cutout little spot. Now, you know, if you go ahead and place your spacers like that and you start putting in there, everything's going to roll away on you, and sure as shooting, I do not want that to happen. So I'm going to do like this. You can pre-drill these, of course, but from what I'm told, if you get all of this proper, you just push it real good. That little spacer is going to give us room to put the filter in. You'll see that in just a moment. So 3 more. Now, we're going to take this off again with these buttons. And I have decided, I ordered the one that is the most filtering, the off-road very dusty, because we are planning a trip to do a BDR here in just a little while. And I am not the leader of a pack generally. I am the back of the pack generally. I am not an aggressive rider. I'm generally a slow rider, which means I eat the dust most of the time. So I'm going to put on the heavy filter, and then after the next trip, take a look and see how it did and feel how it did, etc., etc. Now, I'm going to go oil the filter, and basically it's just, I got the spray, so I'm going to spray it, and I'll be right back to put it in. I'd say shake it like a Polaroid picture, but you're not supposed to shake Polaroid pictures. You're supposed to put them down, face down, on a table, in a cool, dry place. Don't shake it like a Polaroid picture. Just enough to make it damp, just enough to make it grab little particles of dust. It doesn't need to be too oily because you don't want it to drip down into the airbox, of course. All right, I'm gonna go wash my hand. All right, so with the studs in place and the screws with the spacers in place and the filter being oiled, we're going to put the original air filter back in, orange to the front, into its right spot. Then we have this little gadget that locks it into its slot. Align the grooves just like this. Make sure everything's good. Push it into the place. So now we're going to put the filter in. Make sure you notice that it's asymmetrical. It has a tabby over there, and it has locator holes, studs, and then a little column on the frames here. So you put this ear flap in this side, and you put the ear flap in this side. You find the stud spots just like that. Make sure everything's copacetic. Then you grab one of the plates and you fit it into the side that it goes. You notice this stud right here, it goes into that hole right there. It's pretty like self-explanatory kindergarten square block, square hole. Then we're going to push it down and slide it underneath the screws and then put a button on it to hold it into place while we get the other one in the right spot. Then I'll put that right there. Put this one in its correct orientation. Making sure I have no wires underneath the filter, etc., etc. Just like that. Press down, slide under the screws. Grab the other button. Put it in the right place. Like this. Tighten it all the way down. And there you go. If you don't have an Uncle Bob, Bob's your uncle. There. Now we should have very clean air for a very long time. Apparently we don't need the snorkels anymore. And we don't need that anymore. Oh, and if you don't want to fall off, make sure you put your seat bracket back on. Hit the like and subscribe button. Hope you enjoyed this. It's very, very simple. You can fast forward through the parts that you think you already know, and I wish you happy breathing.
Moto.